Hey Fambam, my name is Joda and I'm from London and you're watching As Said by Me and you're listening to Said by Charlotte.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
No, but
That's
not
confusing.
a gift. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. I'm saying let's get into it.
Okay, we don't get to it right now. Yo, this is gonna sound really sexist when I say this, but I'm just be real. So I just feel like with women, like if you want something, you won't say it. All right, fam bam. So me and Charlotte just filmed our first podcast, and we're calling this Said by
Charlotte.
Okay. We're calling this Said by Charlotte, and it was our first one. It was really fun, and I'm excited for you guys to watch it. This is
Get it? Said by Charlotte, but also Said by Charlotte.
It's good. Really good. But this is what we're going to do every Sunday because we know you guys have a lot of questions about our marriage and a lot of different parenting, interracial relationships,
our journey through the NFL.
And we want to be able to be transparent with all that stuff. And we thought this would be the best way to do that. So, yeah. Oh, and also what we talk about in this video, I want to be able to keep talking about this for a couple more of the Sundays because it's something that's really heavy and something that's important in all of our relationships. So be able to leave your questions in the comment section below because we're going to answer those questions in these podcast video series Said by Charlotte.
So the plan is to do like a series a month, right?
Yeah. So this month is going to be about reading between the lines, and maybe next month it'll be about sex.
What? What's wrong with you?
Anyways, yeah. So this is something that we're going to be doing, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the first one, and it was a good time. So this is something that me and Charlotte have been talking about that I thought it'd be good to just talk about on the podcast today. I think reading between the lines is something that we all do to an extent, like in our friendships and with our siblings, in our marriages, boyfriends, girlfriend, all that stuff. And I think it's an interesting topic to talk about, and it's something I think me and Charlotte do a lot. Well, I don't know if we do it a lot.
We also have like slightly differing opinions on reading between the lines and if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if reading between the lines is a good thing or a bad thing because sometimes it works and sometimes it does the complete opposite of what you want it to do. So I thought it'd be good to talk about reading between the lines in our marriage and I think in just relationships in general.
I think communication is one of the things that we as humans struggle with the most in across like all relationships like we were talking about. Sometimes we don't want to say too much or we don't want to say the wrong thing. And, so reading between the lines is all a part of that.
What does reading between the lines mean to you? Because that can mean different things for anybody.
Yeah, so reading between the lines, what it means to me is if someone says something to you, there may be some underlying things that they're also trying to communicate to you, whether that be through their body language or things that they've told you previously. So reading between the lines is picking up on those hints and cues and maybe like interpreting what they're saying a little deeper.
Do you think people do that on purpose?
What? Do what on purpose?
Because basically, like to me, reading between the lines, like there is kind of like no reading between the lines. I'm like, because I'm kind of straightforward.
You're
like,
a face value kind of guy.
Yeah, so I'm like, if you show me something, I'm gonna take it for what it is, and that's it. So it's just like when it becomes like if me and you get in an argument or confrontation rather, and if you tell me something wrong with you and that's it, it's like okay, that's it. Like I'm gonna take it for what it is because I'm gonna tell you what's wrong, and that's it. But the thing about I think you is like if I tell you something wrong, if I tell you there's nothing wrong, you'll read between the lines.
Yes, because Cedric, you'll say, this is how it goes. Let me tell you how it goes. So we'll be in a disagreement and Cedric wears his emotions like on his face.
Very, very proudly, I do say so.
In his actions, in his like tone. And so I'll be like, hey, Ced, it seems like something's bothering you. And I genuinely like don't know. And I want to know so I can help like get past it. So I'll be like, hey, Ced, it seems like something's bothering you. Like, what's up? This is Ced. Nothing. I'm fine. No, I'm not mad. Stop asking me questions. Okay, does that seem like that person is fine? And that, what? As your wife, your body language isn't in line with your words and your actions. And so I'm trying to help like dive deeper to figure out what's going on. And if you're not going to tell me up front, I can see it. I can see it all over you.
Mm.
So I think it's like just like a deeper level of communication, I guess.
So that's what you would say reading between the lines is a deeper.
Well, and I can see the point of like how it can be bad and good, right? Like if someone says something to you and you misinterpret it and you like take it and run away with it, or you react negatively to it, then that's a bad a situation of reading between the lines. However, if your friend or your husband says something to you like, hey, you know, if they're going through a hard time and you say, hey, you know, how are you doing? And they're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, you know that they're not really good, right?
Mm.
So maybe it's not a deeper conversation that you need to have with them. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's just like showing them like, hey, I'm thinking about you,
Yeah.
you know?
I think that reading between the lines when it comes to something like that is fine. But because obviously you can tell somebody who wears their feelings on their sleeve, you can tell if something is wrong with your friend or your significant other or whatever. But there's situations where, um, yo, this is gonna sound really sexist when I say this, but I'm just be real. So I just feel like with women, like if you want something, right? If you want something, you won't say it. You won't say it.
Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. I'm saying let's get into it.
Okay, we don't get to it right now. So I'm saying you want something, done something a certain way, or something like that, but you won't say it, or you'll say like, "I don't want it," and then 2 weeks later, it's like, "You didn't do this."
Okay.
So to me, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna read between the lines when I ask you, okay, I want this done. Do you want this done this way? Do you want to go eat here? Do you want me to, you know what I'm saying, do whatever? And you don't say nothing. How is it fair?
Okay.
Oh,
Let me tell you how it's fair.
No, wait, fair. Let me finish. How is it? Because I don't think fair is the right word. I think how is it? Fair is the right word. How is it fair that I'm supposed to be like, okay, I'm going to read between the lines because Charlotte really wants me to do this. And this, I think this happens across all relationships.
This happens,
period.
Yeah, and this happens in our relationship
A lot.
Yeah, like okay, occasionally, not a lot. But let's take this last, you know, a couple days ago as an example.
What happened a couple days ago?
So a couple of days ago, guys, it was Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, bro.
And Cedric is very thoughtful and intentional when he chooses to be. But for whatever reason, he's decided birthdays and holidays.
Except Christmas. Christmas too?
Yeah, we didn't really gift each other anything for Christmas.
Oh, well, we came to an agreement on that though.
Yeah, but so he's decided that birthdays and holidays, they're just not for him, right? But even though he is very intentional and thoughtful, randomly a lot throughout the year, those are, you know, to me, days to show appreciation and love. So leading up to Valentine's Day, I'm like, hey, Ced, what are we going to do for Valentine's Day? He's like, nothing. And I'm like, okay. So then we get closer. Hey, Ced, are we going to do anything tomorrow? For what? Well, tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
Because I be forgetting it's Valentine's Day.
Okay. Right? So I'm like, trying to give him little cues like, hey, bro, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I'm not saying I need a diamond ring or a new car, but a card or like an intentional, thoughtful act is, nice, right? So Valentine's Day rolls around and we were talking and I said, yeah, I'm a little disappointed in my gift this year. And he said, gift for what? I said, for Valentine's Day. Mind you, this is still early in the day on Valentine's Day. Okay. Well, Valentine's Day evening rolls around and I say, hey, Ced, you want to go get dinner? He's like, I've got food at home. So I'm like, okay, bro. Like now I've said something almost every day leading up to it. No, I didn't come out and say, hey, Cedric, you better do something nice for me on Valentine's Day.
No, you don't ask
I'm saying,
that.
Right. But I'm saying, of course I didn't do that because I was hoping that you would read between the lines a little bit. When it comes to stuff like that, Cedric, if I'm saying like, this is exactly what I want you to do, then it's like it's not personal. It's not intentional. It's me telling you like, hey, it's Valentine's Day. Let's celebrate me a little bit, right?
No. This is what I'm saying. There's a difference between you being like, okay, you better do this for me. It's easy. Like you could be like, babe, like today's Valentine's Day. Can we do something? If you tell me that, I'm like, cool. I'll set some up, dinner, date. You know what I'm saying? Teddy bear, chocolate, all that good stuff. But you can't be like, you want to go eat?
No,
No. You can't. Like in my opinion,
I want it to be like from you though, right? If I'm telling you, Cedric, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, let's go do something for it, and then that prompts you to then go and do something, right? Then that's me like sparking that within you to go and do that. I want it just to be sparks flying.
Is that fair? Like if I want something, I just tell you, babe. When I said for my birthday, I want this. Like I want this on my birthday. But if I don't say nothing, I literally don't want nothing. If I say, Charlotte, next week I want to do this on this day, I want you to plan it. I guess it's not a spark. It's like I want to do this, so I'm going to tell you. So I don't want to make it complicated for you, right? So to me, it's like I think it comes from obviously. I don't think it comes from being raised in two different houses. I honestly think it's a male and female thing, to be completely honest with you. Like, I honestly feel like males are more like straightforward.
I don't know if it's a gender thing. It might be like a personality thing and a love languages thing. Like we've talked about this in the past, but like my first love language is quality time. So on Valentine's Day, for example, I'm hoping for some of that quality time to like show like, oh, like we love each other and we're spending intentional time together. My second love language is gifts. And I don't mean big, like ginormous, elaborate gifts or anything like that, but just like, again, it's thoughtful.
Has that always been your second love language?
No, I think that's like evolved as birthdays and holidays.
I could have sworn we took the love language test, bro.
I think that I've learned that as birthdays and holidays have passed, and I find myself more and more like disappointed or hurt that it's not acknowledged.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So like, she says like she feels disappointed. Like she feels disappointed that I didn't get her a gift. And
not
to me,
a gift, Ced. Read between the lines. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
No,
that's
but not
confusing.
a gift. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Okay, but how can I understand if you don't tell me? Like,
because
you don't want a gift, but you do want a gift?
We've talked about this a million bajillion times about quality time, right? So when I think of gifts, I don't think of like the most expensive thing that you could go out and buy me. I think of like little tokens of like thoughtful appreciation. So whether that be...
So if I got a piece of paper and I said, Charlotte, I love you on Valentine's Day, that's fine.
That's really nice.
You're full of it, bro. I know you lying. You want a card.
Get a piece of paper.
No,
I don't want a card.
No. If I got a card. If I want to got a piece of tissue on Valentine's Day, say, babe, happy Valentine's Day, I love you, and I gave you that piece of tissue, you'd be happy.
Cedric, yes, listen.
So
for our first anniversary, the traditional gift was paper. So you went and made paper flowers, and that's one of my favorite gifts that sits in our house, right? So I'm not looking for you to go out and buy a $5 card and write some mushy gushy thing in it. I'm just saying, like, as I hint toward you as we get closer to Valentine's Day, like, bro, it's Valentine's Day. You want to do something? Whatever. Hey, I got you a gift, whatever.
Okay.
I'm just, so this is a situation where reading between the lines could have been really positive, I think, for both of us, because when I'm hoping for something and I don't want to tell you exactly what to do, like that just takes it all away from
Okay,
it.
but I think there's a difference between telling somebody exactly, because I never look for you telling me, hey, Cedric, I want to go on Valentine's Day to wake up and go here. I don't do that. If you simply just told me, babe, like tomorrow's Valentine's Day, I would really love if we did something, then I'm like, okay, we good. But you don't even do that. You would literally wake up on Valentine's Day and text me at noon, want to go to dinner? And I'll be like, I'll like forget that it's Valentine's Day. Like I don't remember that it's Valentine's Day because I don't care about
Okay.
that. All the gifts
Okay.
that I give you are like random all
They
the time.
are.
Very
But
thoughtful, beautiful gifts.
But so like when I talk, this is the thing. So like when I talk to my friends and they're like, hey, what did you do for Valentine's Day? I'm like, we really didn't do anything. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we didn't do much of anything. I gave Cedric a gift, but that was it. They're like, he's so thoughtful randomly all the time.
Can I explain
They
that?
don't understand. They're like, they also don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I don't get it either.
Let me explain that. Let me explain that. So you know me for 6 going on 7 years now. I'm a very like deep thinker. And to me, if I give somebody a gift, I want it to be from my heart and things that I've thought about, things that I've prayed about. If it so happens to happen on Valentine's Day, then let that be the day. But every time when I give a gift, it's like random, but it's like coming from my heart. It's not just like me.
No, and I get that. And so like I've learned to lower my expectations a little bit in that department, right? Because holidays like aren't as big of a deal to you. Valentine's Day has come and gone this year.
I'll do better next year. I'll read between the lines next year.
Just remember that this year is my golden birthday coming up in August.
What does
so I'm
golden
giving
birthday
you
mean?
6 months in advance.
What does golden birthday mean?
It means that I'm turning the age of the day that I was born on. So I'll be turning 27 on August 27th.
Did you make that up?
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
I didn't have a golden birthday when I was 10.
Well, you did. You just didn't celebrate it.
That's like a totally made up thing.
I want everything gold. I'm just kidding.
Am I supposed to be reading between the lines right there?
Okay, anyway. So reading.
Do you want something gold for your birthday? Is that reading between the lines? Are you trying to tell me you want something gold?
I don't want to tell you.
I asked this question to the Fambam because I wanted to know what you guys thought. And I thought it'd be good to go over some of the questions, some of the answers that you guys put, and we're going to discuss them. So the question I put is, in all relationships, is reading between the lines a good thing or a bad thing? And somebody said, I don't want to give any names. You guys let me know if you want me to drop y'all names or not. That's up to y'all. That's the first one, so I don't want to just be dropping names like that. But somebody said, yes, sometimes I want you to figure out what I'm saying. And I said, wait. And I said, is that fair? I put in the thing, is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear some of the responses? Somebody said, hell no. Say what you mean. I don't have time to solve a puzzle when you hide in pieces. Power to that, brother. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you have to tell me what you want. I think you have to tell me an idea or something. Want to hear another response, or you want to?
No, let's talk about that one. So I think there's something to be said about communicating clearly, right? Like you do have to communicate if there's something that you want to a certain extent, right? So I feel like sometimes I don't want to spell everything out for you, right? Like if I want you to like think about me or whatever, I'm not going to spell out, go to Target and buy me blah, 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 right? Like if it's not like a grocery or something, like something small, right? If I want you to think about me, I don't want to spell it out for you because I want you to just like feel so moved. But on the flip side of that, you have to communicate clearly, and that's like really important in relationships that you do that.
Agreed.
Okay.
Want to hear some other responses?
No, I want to hear some of the other responses too.
Yeah, let me hear some of these responses of that particular answer. Somebody said tripping.
No,
Somebody
not
said
that. Let's
nope.
move on.
Somebody said no. You should never have to guess what the other is feeling. Communicating is key. Nope. We don't read minds. No, this isn't fair. Say what you really want to say and mean. No, it's not. Like, I can just keep going on, but
I understand what you were saying. We don't always want to spell out exactly what you got to do.
somebody said LOL no, unless you are legitimately a mind reader. So I think we have
Okay,
a unanimous
let's move
decision
on.
here. Okay,
What's
let's
the
move
next
on. I
one?
just thought I'd read some of those answers here. Yeah, so that was going to go over one of these other questions here. I think it can be good in some situations, but it feel like it can cause harm in others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we keep going back and forth about. It's like, let's say if we're reading between the lines, if something's bothering me and I'm saying no, okay, it's probably good to read between the lines because there's something bothering me. And it'd be um for lack of a better word, a disservice as you as my wife to not try to figure, okay, what's wrong with my husband? Just
Yeah.
like if something's bothering you and I'm like, okay, whatever, that's her business. I'm not gonna talk to her. She tripping.
Right. So, like, going back to that example we had about when something's bothering you and you say, oh, I'm good, I'm chilling, and you're clearly not. As your wife, I got to read between the lines a little bit to say, like, okay, right now, based on Ced's non-verbal cues, am I going to back up and give him some space in that moment and say, okay, he says he's good. He's not, but we're not going to talk about it right now. Or is it a moment for me to like press deeper? So like that's a good situation to read between the lines where it can be like beneficial. I think it can be harmful when I say something and you are like, you kind of place your own expectations on it or your own, like if I say something in a certain tone and you kind of misinterpret it and like take it like, oh, she's mad and this, and then that makes you react negatively to it, that can be harmful, right? Because you could take something that I really just mean at face value and then make it something way bigger. And then what? Why are your eyes getting bigger?
Because that's like one of the biggest problems in
relationships in general, not just our relationship. It happens all the time where like,
I know, but that's one of the hardest things to me is like, bro, if somebody say something, like I'm very like, I don't read between the lines. So whatever you say, good or bad, I'm gonna take it for what it is. So if you say something that's like bad, I'm gonna take it to heart and I'm gonna get like,
no, I'm not saying they're saying something bad.
no, anything. I'm just saying if you're not a person who doesn't read between the lines, if somebody says something to you, you're gonna take it for what it is, and that's it. Fair to say, right? So if you're upset and you say something like mean or hurtful, I'm gonna take it for what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like somebody who does read between the lines, I think somebody like that, like you can say something to that person and they know, okay, that's not really coming from.
No, so like let's look at this like a situation, for example. So like let's say someone in our family, I'm not going to say anybody's names.
Yeah, don't say no names with the family.
Let's say somebody in our family is not having a good day and something really small makes them react in a big way. Or not a big way, but just in a like snappy kind of way, right? So like something really small. Like you might ask them a question and they're like, no, right? And they like not specifically one person, but if someone reacts like that, that's a moment where reading between the lines, it could be either beneficial or harmful. If you read between the lines there and say, hey, this person's having a stressful moment or a bad day, let me read between the lines here and like respond with grace and love instead of like snapping back at them, right? So like reading between the lines, you kind of can pick sometimes if it's going to be beneficial in that situation or harmful to that situation, because you can escalate that further or you can kind of diffuse it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you take things at face value instead of like thinking deeper, like from their perspective, right? So like you might be like, oh, okay, instead of thinking like, what's that person going through to have them like react that way?
Yeah, and that's something that like I said, I'm somebody who like I wear my feelings on my sleeve. I've always been like that since I was a kid, and I think that's what got me to where I am today with my relationships, having an awesome wife, having awesome friends. Because I'm straight up, and you take me for who I am. You love me or you hate me, and you know I'm gonna pour my life and my heart into you. But as I've been seeking my relationship with God, that's something that's been changing for me because I have a lot of empathy for people and understanding that, like, when we retaliate at somebody or we say something harmful to somebody, most of the time it's not what that person does to us. It's something that's going on with us that makes us react a certain way. Because every time me and Charlotte get in an argument, and once we kind of like are done getting down with the get down or whatever, we always say, like, no matter what we do to each other, we have the responsibility of what we say back to that person. Because no matter what somebody says to me, I have control of my tongue of what I should say. I don't have control of how I feel. Like, I always gonna feel hurt or sad or whatever or upset, but I control what I say. And I think that's something that we had to remember in all of our relationships, period, is to remember that we control what we say.
Yeah, and also in our like daily lives, like in encounters with strangers. Like last night I was at Target and I was returning something, and this lady kind of had a bad attitude toward me, and I could feel myself like
Oh, yeah.
because she had like a bad attitude with me,
Mhm.
I could feel myself like
Getting
starting
riled
to
up,
get
yeah.
on edge and like react in that situation.
That's
And
why I walked away with Maddie, because I felt the energy. I'm like, bro, I'm about to go ahead and
yeah, like
bounce.
I got like really defensive,
Yeah.
and I could feel it happening, and I'm like talking in my head like, Charlotte, like this is an opportunity, like calm down, like be nice, like respond with grace and love. And so we talk about it in our relationships, right? But it's about how we respond in those situations as we walk throughout our days, you know, with strangers. Like it's really easy to react to how someone's talking to you in a negative way. But if we could like take a step back and instead of, you know, just pouncing back on those people,
Mhm.
and like reading between the lines, like, okay, this person is going through their own stuff. Let me not add to that. Let me just back up here and respond like with grace and love instead of coming back after them.
Mhm.
So I think like it's really important in our relationships, like with our friends and our husbands and family and all that, but it's also really important to like take those cues and use them in a positive way as we live our lives
Mhm.
and meet people that we may never see again, you know? And I think that's what
25. That was beautiful, baby.
we're called to do, is to be a light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's something that we all struggle with, because we all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all are upset, we're all hurting inside some kind of way, and I think it's something that if we're more aware of, maybe that will help us be able to help read between the lines when it's appropriate. I feel like because reading between the lines can be somewhat of like judging, which can be a dangerous place. Like
Right. Like I started to think like, is she acting to me this way
Yeah.
because of my color?
Yeah.
Is she acting this way because the receipt was wrinkled up and
Yeah.
she's judging me? Like I started to judge her back and like put these things on her that like I don't know her from
Can I just say something funny that
Susan
happened at
down
that
the
situation?
street.
So the lady gets the box. She gets the box, and there's like a sticker on the back of the box. And I'm holding Maddie. I'm right there holding Maddie. I'm like, okay, this is like getting intense. I'm about to like walk away. Before I walk away, the lady is like, "What's that on the box?" And she's like, "It's a sticker." And she grabs the sticker and like rips the sticker off of the box, and like the paint comes off of the box. I'm like, oh my god, bro! But you handled that really good because I can just tell
it
she
was
was mad or
escalating,
something.
and then I just like de-escalated. I just said thank you for your help,
Yeah,
and walked away because I was like, but anyway.
yeah. Anyways, but no, I think that's good. So yeah, I think this is something that we're going to continue to talk about. This is our first time doing this, and it was really fun. I think reading between the lines is something that's really important to understand in relationships, your marriages, your boyfriend and girlfriends, your friendships with your siblings, with your parents, whatever. And this is something we're going to continue to talk about. This is the first one, our first podcast video kind of thing. So if you have any questions or if you have any things in this specific topic you want us to hit on that we kind of experienced in our marriage, pre-marriage, early dating with kids,
In our friendships.
all that stuff. So it was fun. You're kidding me.
But you know what's between the lines.
Gold.
You gotta bleep that out.
I'm not bleeping that out. That was good. Me 5. That was really good.
Hey Fambam, my name is Joda and I'm from London and you're watching As Said by Me and you're listening to Said by Charlotte.